So that's great. So let's talk about that and understand that a bit more. So recently you had calls with juniors
Right.
offering referrals.
Yeah, actually there's just one, but yeah, but he offered me two referrals. One is actually the first one is the lab that he used to work with, and the other one is the referral to his company.
Okay. What specifically were they offering in terms of a referral? What did that mean?
I think it's job referral. It's like so for the lab referral, it's like if I write a letter to his boss for discussion, he will endorse me. And then for the current company, I think it's like
Okay.
encouraging me to submit my application. Yeah, but in your videos, it's like the junior referrals are typically ignored. So not. I mean, I was feeling really thankful, but I haven't really applied to that position yet.
Right.
And I mean, I'm looking for internships, but I'm not sure that company has any of that openness.
Right. So here's one way to approach this. So the junior referral could be of a couple kinds. One could be you can use my name on the job application when you apply. This is one example of a junior referral. Another could be you can use a referral link when you apply, which is associated with me. Another could be I can introduce you to my boss or my team for further discussion. These are the kind of outcomes that we might see in a discussion with a junior where a referral is topic. I'd say the strongest of these is the third. I can introduce you. I think that is the strongest way to go in this kind of a situation when they're saying, "Hey, I can introduce you." I think that's the most interesting to me.
Right, because that way you can chat with another people and they can give you more information.
Exactly. So let me just make this. If I can make this larger, I will. If I can't, then no big deal. Let's see here. So this to me is the most interesting one. And then the discussion with that person or that team member becomes actually the referral. So here in this situation, I would say this is the best. And so if you're asking, hey, I can refer you, you can say, great, thank you. Who is there a chance that you could introduce me to the leaders on your, or who would be, great, thank you, who would be good to speak with if I wanted to follow up with someone in the firm or the team, depending on how you're talking about it. And then you would get an answer. Joe Stevens is the head of the team, for example. There's the answer. And you can say, okay, that's great. And then you say, thanks. That is helpful. Is there a best way to follow up with that person? And instead of saying versus, you're not saying, can you introduce me? That's can be a bit too direct. You say, is there a best way to follow up with Joe? With Joe. And they'll say, oh, you can just email him. Or, oh, yeah, try to call him. Something like that. And at that point, the answer might be, you can email him.
Mm-hmm.
In which case you say, okay, that sounds great. And then you can
May I mention your name? Is that the
reach out to Joe. Yeah, say Joe, right. Then when you reach out to Joe, you say, then to Joe, Mark suggested we meet regarding ABC role or my interests in ABC position. Would there be a convenient time to speak? And then that's it. By way of introduction, and then and then, the statement that shows the fit. I'm currently working on the same thing, or I'm interested in XYZ. So this is probably the best kind of referral. And if they don't offer that kind of referral on the phone, you can always ask this question: who would be good to speak with if I wanted to follow up with somebody in the team? Because maybe they didn't volunteer this kind of referral. Maybe they didn't say this, and they could introduce you, but you still want to collect some information about who without asking for an introduction. If they don't offer it, that's fine. If they do, better. Either way, asking this question is a good way to go. Then when you speak with Joe, let's say Joe is the head of the team, or maybe it's Maria Stevens, it doesn't matter. If Joe is the head of the team, then maybe you get on a call with Joe and eventually you apply to the job through the referral link that Joe provides.
Right.
Meanwhile, you have not shown your resume to anybody in the course of this discussion. I do not encourage sending a resume, because this decision about hiring is really about hiring the person, and the resume is really just a procedural thing. 一个形式而已. It's
Right.
just a procedural thing when this is going really well. Sometimes you don't have a way to speak to anybody and you just have to apply. Fine. Can be it's not about only trying to call people. We do have to apply and follow up and do sometimes things in reverse a little bit, and that's okay. But sometimes even after you have applied, you want to network and then not necessarily share your resume with them or send that to them as part of the discussion. So this would be my note about how to handle a junior referral in the best way.
Cool.
And
I'm also encountering
I've seen this work. Let me just finish by saying I've seen this work. I mean, I've seen friends within our program. Mike Qixue in our program had reached out to a friend because he saw that there was a company of interest that was hiring. That friend used to work there. That friend introduced Mike to the decision makers, and the decision makers then continued the conversation with Mike, and he eventually got the job. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds cool.
Hopefully that's helpful.